Everybody, Kyle Clark.
Just take the fucking microphone.
He failed on putting this in the thing real fast, right? We can all agree. Guys, I know we're doing like an anti-Valentine's Day show here, but does that necessitate the world's saddest balloons? I've been standing in the back staring at those all night going, oh, that's not good. That's not a party. That's a no one came and like your sad sniffles put out the only candle on the birthday cake style balloons. Like the pony died on way to the show. Oh, are we having fun, guys? All right, hear me out. I'm gonna throw an idea at you. You guys don't want it, you just throw it back. It's cool. We're all adults here. Mostly. But how about, look, it's been a good show, right? We can all agree with that? Yeah? This half the room, not having as much fun, I see. This side of the room, you're still with me. There's a great rest of the show after me. It's positively glorious. But what if, instead, we just turn on the lights right now, we all get into my car, it's a Ford Explorer, we're good to go, I can fit everybody. We drive back to my house an hour away in Simi Valley. We crawl into my queen-size bed, don't worry, we'll snuggle, it's all good, we're all friends here. I just got a new comforter. I'm gonna put it over all of us so we're nice and warm, and we just watch Good Eats. It's on Netflix. It's like a collection. It's like 10. That's pretty good. And instead of watching the rest of the show, we just snuggle and get to know each other and maybe fall in love a little bit. I'm prepared to sweeten the deal. We'll take a vote once we're all comfy and cozy, because we're going to eat Triscuits in bed. It's a special occasion. I've got guests over. And I'm going to let you guys choose. I got roasted bell pepper and rosemary and olive oil. Now I'm leaning toward the rosemary and olive oil, but since you guys are the guests, if we vote and the majority wants that, that's what we're gonna go with, because I love you and I care about you. Now, I'll let you guys take the rest of my set to think about it, but just mull over the love and warmth we'd feel. I mean, great comedy show, top-notch talent the rest of the show, but I am excited for Valentine's Day. I have a lady friend, and it's real exciting. Is anybody else here in one of them committed relationships? I got a question for you folks. My girlfriend has a weird thing that is new to me. She's real talky when she watches TV. Does anybody have a significant other who like talks to you as if you have as if The Walking Dead is emailing me spoilers on Wednesday so I can mull over them, so on Sunday night when she asks me questions about what's happening I for sure have answers? They're like, alright Kyle, somebody's gonna die this week, but if she asks, be coy about it. Like, it doesn't matter what she's watching, like it's as if we're not watching the same programming at the same time. And it's fun, but my favorite thing is that it blew my mind, because the one time it stopped was this. We were watching Food Network. Good Eats, keep thinking about it. And we're watching something, and it's a show that's a tribute to butter. And she stops talking as if she's listening to the president talk, and we've just been attacked. Like, that's the level of quiet, fearful reverence. She's like, uh-huh. Yeah. And I tried to say something, she's like, shh, butter's on. It was amazing. Just butter was on. My girlfriend's from the South. Guys, I am a native-born Southern Californian. Do we fucking right? These people don't get it. Like, California, being from California is fascinating, because everybody else, like, you move somewhere else because you hate where you're from. Here, you're just already fine. And then just interesting people from other places come to you, and you're just like, hey, tell me about that other place, because I ain't going. And so we've talked about things, and like I realize my vision of the South is like real not accurate. Now I know a lot of you people might have visions of like racism or like the Dukes of Hazzard in a negative context. But like my vision of the South is just Bonnaroo and like Willie Nelson museums. Like, cause that's all I've ever seen there is just me high dancing to Fish or like walking around high at a Willie Nelson museum going like, this is a Willie Nelson museum. Cause I went to a place once where there was a shopping center that had 3 things. It had an illegal Dukes of Hazzard museum, which was the reason I stopped because I saw it generally and I'm like, fucking stop the car. Instagram must be served. And then an illegal Willie Nelson museum, and then a Walgreens? And what I like is this is a place where you could go where you could get a shirt that says Cooter's Garage, and then a Don't Blame Me, I Voted for Willie Nelson bumper sticker, and then some Pringles and Neosporin. All without having to get back in your car. Now, turns out her version of the South was not that shopping center I liked. Her version of the South was a bunch of dicks being mean to a smart lady because they don't care for that sometimes when you're in rural Georgia. And she'd tell me these stories that are just horrifying, and she'd open up her heart when we were getting to know each other, and she's like, yeah, it was tough. I was like a girl, and I was smart, and I was good at things, and like just teachers, like it would just be all these old Southern dudes who would like tell me that I can't do the things that I want to do in life, and I had to like move to New York to like find myself as a person. And as a Southern Californian, I grabbed her hand and said, honey, I understand days where you lose trust in teachers. Because one time my friends and I were playing Frisbee in the quad. And a teacher took our Frisbee away. And it really bummed us out for a while. And then I just sat in silence and let her think about breaking up with me. So, real shame, real shame. Anybody going out and seeing 50 Shades of Grey? Has anybody already seen it? It's been out for like 12 hours now. Nobody was an 11 a.m. showing today. Oh, somebody raised their hand. And don't be ashamed, that's dope. I know nothing about those books except they're like, as far as I can tell, it's a lady in a dude's business shirt going, for 2 hours. Like that's what the poster has taught me about that movie. But I know it's like the bondage movie, right? Like where it's like, hey, this is a thing that's been around for a while, but here's it without a weird guy in a mask. Not unlike, that thing earlier. It's a call back to the Jason mask, guys. Remember that? That guy in my shirt did stand-up. He referenced a bunch of the movies he was in. I was like, oh, that checks out. You did murder all those teenagers. And it was at a camp. Write what you know, Jason. Write what you know. But I'm fascinated by it just because like bondage, just any kind of sex, it seems like a lot of work. I'm like, why? Like if you have to buy extra stuff, it's like, oh, I'm broke and sex is something you can do on the cheap. Come on, guys, let's have a party. But I'm only fascinated by bondage because of a show I did recently where things weren't going well, and so I was just asking people. I gave up at a certain point. Was just asking people, what kind of animal would you be if you could be any animal? Because sometimes you got to fill out time, guys. And I asked a lady in the front row, and she's like, horse trainer, or she's like, horse. And then I said, what is your job? And then she said, horse trainer. Which would be a better punchline had I not fucked it up real bad. But that's still insane, because I like that her fantasy is just her whinnying defiantly, like running away from a horse trainer, and that's all she thinks that her job is like, ugh, if only I could be on the receiving end of this. And she hits the horse with spurs and goes, You're so good. Anybody ever have to go to like work, like their significant other's work functions?
Yeah.
Like where it's you having to make awkward conversation, and it's not even like, it's awkward conversation where it's people where you will see twice. You'll see at a Christmas party and then some other time. And then they might as well die. Like you'll never see them again. But you have to talk to them and not be a dick because you love the person you're with. And so I'm not good at that. And so what I do instead is like, I just have a bunch of like random facts that I'll give out instead of like information about myself. And my favorite is the following, because it's a real fun fact. You guys should throw it out. It's, hey guys, did you know that popular rock and roll singer Chubby Checker died of horrible organ failure from years and years of doing the twist? Just it turns out if you do this for 75 years, your kidneys end up here. Like just your lungs are in your butt. Like it's awful. The corner opens up and goes, ugh, it's a goddamn fruit salad in here. And I've been given that as like, I love it because it's a little morbid, but it's a little interesting. And what I found out recently, also not true. Guys, Chubby Checker is super alive. I I've been saying that fact for a decade. It's to the point where I've told it to thousands of people, and I've heard other people then say it back to other people like I created a virus. And now I'm obsessed with that because it's this weird phenomena I've now discovered. Like, we live in the age where we all have a phone in our pocket that has, like, it's the ultimate fact checker. And the problem is, fuck that. Like, that's a lot of work. So I've learned that if you tell somebody something and it seems vaguely credible, it's just kind of true. So now I'm just making up stuff and seeing what I can get away with. Like, my new favorite fact to give away, guys, is that you know that one of the guys from Milli Vanilli wrote for Letterman for like 5 years in the 90s? He didn't at all. He just disappeared in obscurity, he died in a gutter. But now you're always gonna think, was that true? Like, I said that one night, I forget the punchline. I'm just gonna tell somebody. Or like, did you guys know that there is a super rare unprinted version of Batman comics from the 40s they won't reprint? DC has put them in the vaults because Robin just dropped the N-bomb like a bunch. It was the 40s. They didn't know it was a bad word yet. Like, Robin was white, he made an astute observation about someone who wasn't, and DC in the 40s was like, sure, we got a war to win, whatever. Those comics are super hard to find because they don't exist. They're for sure not a thing. But again, you're just like, well, fuck it. Let's see to somebody. Robin, N-word, real. That's gonna put together a weird search. Like, who's gonna be like, are you drunk again? Your phone is judging you. Just know that. Huh? Right? I don't know what you said. Guys, I've been drinking, so my set list is just guiding me, because sometimes in your 20s you take all the drugs and you're just like, oh, I used to be able to remember words. Okay, so that giving away factoids, it turns out if you just talk about dead 50 singers, it doesn't go well, and then your girlfriend's mad at you. But that's okay, because then you get to engage in an activity that I've grown to love by being in committed relationships. Anybody here ever engaged in a hate snuggle? Where you and the person you love are mad at each other, but instead of saying words, you just are laying as the big spoon staring at the back of her dumb fucking head. She's fuming and frowning, and you can feel it. You can feel that frown pushing pillow matter away. And you both just sit there waiting for someone to break and say something so that you can start fighting. It's like a rodeo, guys. It's amazing. But I don't want to leave on a bad note about these things. My girlfriend recently, guys, said to me something that kind of blew my mind, which was, hey, we should try role-playing sometime.
Oh, God.
Right? That was an audible moan. That was that fear? Or was that, are you just so turned on? I'm like, I'm on a gym mat, we're talking about role-playing. Oh, take me now. Oh, I like your style, kid. I like your style. But, so she says that, and I panic because I don't have a response to that besides, what? Which is not the good response, but she's like, no, we should try role-playing. And I'm like, all right. She's like, I want you to write down like 3 fantasies that you've had, and then we're gonna try one of them. And I'm like, fuck, really? I have homework now? This went from sex to like, I want a 5-paragraph essay. And so I do my homework, and I come back, and she looks at them and goes, all right, I have a problem with this. And I'm like, what's that? And she's like, well, these aren't really role-play scenarios so much as Halloween costumes for couples. And I was going to argue with her, but on the list was a sexy Ghostbuster. I don't know, the reboot's coming. It seemed like a thing that I could try. I'm like, I just like the idea, like I'm wearing a sheet and she's got a proton pack, and I'm just like, you can't catch me, I'm a ghost. And you finish, Busted makes me feel good. Like, such a dumb tag. I'm never proud of saying that. And we're all bad people for that. But, and like, I wanted to argue with her, but then I thought about my 4th option, which was just I wanted her to wear the front end of a horse costume, and then I was going to wear the back end of a horse costume, and then we just have sex inside of a horse costume. But she wasn't down for that either. She was just like, you can't just, instead of sexy things, write down just stuff you like. And I'm like, all right, well, there goes my Lego bra idea. Seems cool. Like, you put it on, you build it on her, and then you, like, take it off, and her boobs look square, and I don't know. What do you want from me? And I've realized because all of this has come, I'm like, honey, why are we doing this? And it's because, I don't know if any of you couples have this where you are friends with other couples eventually because no one single will hang out with you anymore. And so you end up hanging out with other couples, and in those groups of couples, there's always the cool couple. And if you're not the cool couple, you have a complex because you're not the cool couple. And we have a cool couple friend who, for their anniversary, they were speeding drunkenly down the 405, and the girl climbed on top of the guy, and they fucked while they were driving. Guys, that is so dangerous. And the thing is, like, my girlfriend and I are for sure not those people. And if you're like, sure you can, fucking no we're not. And this is an example of why. We both wear glasses, and sometimes when we kiss, they fall down the bridge of our nose and click and make a sound. And if that's a thing that happens and you're like, you don't live in Drive Fuck County. Like, I have just visions of us trying to do that, where, like, we go for it. There's no version of that where we don't instantly die. Like, one of us lunges at the other person and it's, and then the newspaper reads has a headline next to it that says, "Nerds died doing it wrong." Thanks, guys. You've been great.